Welcome to this edition of Engineering Track. You'll be wondering where I am heading with this bicycle. I am actually going to meet an inventor, a dentist who turns to an inventor. We shall also bring you how this bicycle I'm riding is made. Watch out for this and more on the show today. But first, engineering news. This is Engineering Track, and I am Temitayo Fagboro.
Bicycle. I don't really know.
I think bicycle is called bicycle because it's a cycle. So that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bicycle is called a bicycle because it has two.
Two what?
Bicycle called bicycle. I don't have an idea about that.
Bicycle called bicycle. I have no idea about that.
Why is bicycle called bicycle? Because it's a bicycle now. He has two tires now, bicycle, and that's the name meant for it.
This 3-speed steel bicycle is sturdy and comfortable enough to ride recreationally or daily to school or work. A cargo rack in the rear can hold your purse, backpack, or briefcase. The bike is made of chromoly steel, which is pound for pound stronger than standard steel. To prepare the bike's tubular parts, including the frame, a worker cut steel tube with horizontally bandsaw into specific length pieces. He then clamps certain frame pieces into a milling machine which will cut a curve into one or both ends depending on the piece's location in the final assembly. This notch, as it's called, will let the tube bolt up against the side of an adjacent tube when the bike's frame is assembled. The notched edge is ragged so the worker smooths it out with a small belt sander. Certain frame parts are straight, others bend. To make the bend, once another worker places the piece of tube in a tube bender, a press that forces the tube against the curved die. Once all the frame parts are ready, a welder clamps them in a fixture which correctly positions them for assembly. He works with the welding torch in one hand and a rod of filaments in the other. The torch melts adjacent tubes at their melting point so that they fuse together. The welder also melting some filler metal to strengthen the joint. The bicycle frame is made up of the 9 major parts, and the welder welds them to each other in 2 sections, forming the rear triangle and the front triangle. This is the rear one, which alone requires 9 meticulous welds. Once each triangle is separately assembled, he welds them together. Another worker sprays the frame with powder coat primer, then color. Powder coat is an industrial grade paint like finish When the frame comes out of the oven, another worker presses steel caps into what's called the head tube. That vertical tube at the front of the frame, which holds the handlebars on top and the foot for the front wheel at the bottom. Bearings inside the caps let the handlebars and for turn left and right with ease. To put the bicycle together, the worker suspends the frame in an assembly stand and then inserts the bottom bracket, which will ultimately support the bike's drivetrain system. The bike's fenders are made of sheet steel that's shaped with pressure applying rollers. The rear fender attaches to the rear dropout and defender mounts at two other locations on the frame's rear triangle. He screws the cargo rack to middle and rear rack support. Then he inserts and bolts the rear wheel into the rear dropout. Next, the worker installs the drivetrain system, inserting the crank arms already mounted to the chain ring onto the bottom bracket. He tightens the bolts securely with a torch wrench. Workers then insert the fork into the bottom of the head tube and chrome-plated steel handlebars into the top mount, the front fender and front wheel, then install the pedals, final seat, chain and chain guard. With a gear shifter and front brake lever on the handlebars, this steel bicycle is ready to hit the road.
Being a filmmaker in Nigeria, we are faced with a lot of problems, technical problems. Acquiring equipment, acquiring cameras, acquiring the right tools to tell good stories. So I thought to myself that, how do I solve these problems? I didn't have money to rent high-end equipment. And if I don't have this equipment, I can't tell these stories. So one day I decided to make one or two things that would help me solve my problem. I started making DIY sliders. From my designs, I started having friends asking, can I have you make this for me? Can you do this for me? And I'm like, okay, we can start a business from this. So I decided to go back to my books and read a little about engineering techniques, read a little about manufacturing, read a little about getting products that customers would buy. So in that process, I began the journey that has brought me to where I am now. How come? How did it happen? You're a medical person. What are you doing with the camera? I am somebody that likes to follow my passion. I love dentistry. I love to put a smile on people's faces. But I also love to shoot movies and tell stories. And with the way the economy is, you sometimes don't find yourself doing what you actually read in school. So many factors. There's the socioeconomic factor, there's politics, there's so many things affecting it. And we can't just sit back and be expecting to get jobs. We can't just walk into a hospital and they say, wow, you're good, let's employ you. Africa is not big in production, in the aspects of industrial manufacturing. We're not that grounded. We lack infrastructure. There's so many things, but we have potential. We have the will. We don't have the technicalities of manufacturing, but we have the will, and that's something that's keeping me going. Because there's some materials I ask for and I can't get it. It's very, very saddening. But I do not give up because I can't find this material. I don't say, okay, I can't make you a slider. We look for alternatives. I had to build a machine that accurately cuts metal. So we don't have, your first material, your first piece is 3 mm shorter than the second piece, and so on and so forth. So it's like a robot that knows how to accurately cut these things for you. It's called a CNC machine. You know, and I checked the prices online, how to get a CNC machine that could cut metal. They were very, very expensive. And as a black man, I have to think of how to build these things myself. For the past 10 years, there has been this mindset shift of the average Nigerian youth from a 9-to-5 job to a get self-employed, build something, sell, make your money. You know, they now think like entrepreneurs, and the entrepreneurship space in Nigeria is growing. You know, so it's growing, but we need to. There's a lot of things we need to work on. There are so many things we need to work on. For instance, we need to enhance access to finance. There's money in Africa, but there's no money in the entrepreneurship space. We need to enhance, we need people to come in, to invest in businesses. We need to build these ideas because we have the will. I've met friends in this industry that keep me going. They have business ideas, but they lack money to fund it. Secondly, we need business education. A lot of us have beautiful business ideas, but we don't even know what it means to write a short business plan on how to get this business running. So we need to open business schools, we need to open business training centers, we need to open business hubs where people can come in and learn how to build a business, not just I have a solution, I know how to solve a problem. We need to build these things, to build these ideas to make them big businesses. So if we can work on our finance and business education, I'm sure the entrepreneurship system in Africa will grow. We are building technology advancements in our houses, and these guys out there don't see them. So if you can have an avenue where all these things can be showcased to the world, for instance on platforms like this, where they see that actually young Africans are doing these things, I'm sure it will motivate other young Africans to want to build and be better at what they do. Another thing is our educational system. We need to infuse entrepreneurship to the rawest form in education. I mean, from the early stages of primary 1, primary 2, primary 3, we need to start teaching them the business idea, how to invent stuff, how to make things and solve their own problems. That's how they do in America, that's how they do in other advanced worlds. They have incubators for young, talented inventors to come in, bring ideas, build things. So if we can imbibe it from the cradle, from when the youths are children, as they grow older, they would build on this and start inventing things and probably change Africa.
Hey, it's for you. 12 mistakes you make while charging your phone. You know, gadgets these days have so many different functions that they've become everything a person might need all stuffed into a palm-sized device. But one big drawback of this technological advancement is that batteries can't keep up with the workload and die too quickly. And while mobile producers continue to improve on batteries to make them charge faster and last longer, people still keep doing all kinds of crazy stuff because they'll think it'll extend their battery life, like throwing their phone in the freezer. Here we go. Mistake number 1. Charging your phone to the max before using it for the first time. Wow, we've all heard of this one, right? You bring your phone home from the store, plug it in, and wait until your new baby is full to the brim. In fact, some mobile salespeople even recommend doing this. It is, however, nothing but a myth. Cell phone batteries work best when they're charged only up to 40 to 80%. and that's exactly how much charge any smartphone in a store has. That's why you'll be perfectly fine if you just buy a phone, take it out of the box, and start using it right away. But there's one important thing to remember. If you fire up your new cell phone and notice that the battery indicator shows less than 40% charge, you should probably take it back to the store. Such a low percentage usually means that the battery is old. Mistake number 2. Not using your phone while it's charging. Tons of people are convinced that if they use their cell phone while it's charging, this will harm the battery's lifespan. Others believe that, in this case, the battery won't charge as well as it can when it's not in use. You'll probably be happy to know that this, too, is a misconception. It doesn't matter whether you're using your phone or not, it'll still charge the same exact way. Consider this. Even when you aren't working with your gadget, it's still completing some mysterious tasks of its own, like synchronizing data. This means that you can easily add several more tasks to this workload. Mistake number 3. Being afraid that chargers from a different brand will kill your battery. Now, it is true that some off-brand chargers may not be the best choice for your phone, and they do typically take longer to charge the battery. But if the charger works well enough, it won't harm your mobile device. So, if you need to urgently charge your phone in an emergency, or the factory charger it came with doesn't work anymore, you can get any cheap version that's compatible with your smartphone. Unfortunately, this doesn't apply to the Droid Turbo. It requires a charger designed specifically for this device. Mistake number 4. Thinking that turning your phone off will damage the battery. Yes, if you leave your phone off for an extended amount of time, its battery is going to die. That's a totally normal thing all batteries do. But if you simply shut your device off from time to time, nothing dramatic will happen. In fact, some devices may actually start working more effectively after you reboot them. Doing this also helps restore the functionality of their batteries. Mistake number 5. Trying to train your battery. Alright boy, fetch. Some people think that they can train their battery so that it'll be able to hold more charge. They let the battery drain completely before recharging it again and never ever charge their phone if it's only at 50 or 60%. Their reasoning is that batteries have memory, and if you don't wait to charge your phone before it's almost hit 0%, the battery won't work as well as it used to. But this idea has no ground to stand on. So feel free to charge your phone even if the battery is as full as 90%. Charging your phone frequently doesn't hurt the battery. Mistake number 6. Not charging your phone overnight for fear of damaging the battery. Don't you think that smartphones were dubbed smart for a reason? Duh, I don't know. These devices know for sure when to stop charging because the battery is full. On the other hand, while overnight charging doesn't harm your phone in any way, it's still not the most effective way to do it. If you want to extend your battery's lifespan, keep it charged between 40 and 80%. Believe it or not, this actually helps the battery live the longest. Mistake number 7. Putting the battery in the freezer to make it last longer. Ooh, just like a Milky Way candy bar. Well, this misconception goes way back to the 80s, when people would put batteries in the freezer for short periods of time to make them work longer. But freezing your phone does nothing more than kill the battery. The thing is that lithium-ion batteries react badly to both cold and heat. The best temperature for this sort of battery is room temperature. Mistake number 8. Using task managers to prolong battery life. Forget everything you've ever been told about task managers. They do not prolong your battery life. The built-in system on your phone is already dealing with everything that should be done to keep your device's performance in tip-top shape. As for third-party task managers, they're actually more likely to decrease your phone's performance. Yes, they can control the apps you use, but they really hurt the battery life. Mistake number 9. Fearing to leave your phone charger plugged in. You've probably heard that after you finish charging your mobile device, you should unplug the charger from the wall for safety reasons and fire prevention. Well, leaving your charger dangling from the wall is ill-advised only in the following situations. You have pets. Your charger makes weird noises or leaks. Your house or apartment complex doesn't have any lightning protection. There's a chance that your neighbors may have a water leak. In all other cases, it's perfectly safe to leave your charger plugged in. It's up to you to decide whether or not to do this. Mistake number 10. Not charging laptops all the time to prevent damage. Just like with cell phones, laptop batteries stop charging as soon as they're full. Experts recommend discharging your laptop to 0% no more than once a month. As for any damage that can ruin the device, in most cases it happens because of overheating, not from keeping the laptop plugged in. Overheating, in turn, is often due to operator error. That's right, it's your fault, bub. Mistake number 11. Believing that the internet runs your battery down the fastest. Now, first of all, let's specify what you're using the internet for. If you're doing different graphic-intensive activities, such as online gaming or watching bright-side videos on YouTube, then your battery will, unfortunately, die much faster. These sorts of activities simply need impressive amounts of energy to display those awesome graphics. But if you're just surfing the net or reading articles, it doesn't influence your battery life any more than listening to music does. And if you just can't live without playing another round of your favorite online mobile game, dim the screen as much as possible to prolong the battery life at least a little bit. Mistake number 12. Turning off Bluetooth, GPS, and Wi-Fi to prolong the battery life. Now, you should know that the only time when any of these services may drain your battery is when you're actively using them. The rest of the time, they might pull some amount of energy from the battery, but it's not really a lot and doesn't drain it completely. In fact, Wi-Fi consumes even less energy than your smartphone needs to maintain the cellular data connection. Apple even encourages its users to leave Wi-Fi turned on to save battery. Alright, now you're all caught up on what not to do when charging your phone and what you can do instead. How about some more tips that'll help you prolong your battery life? Keep batteries cool. As we've already mentioned, when the temperature is too hot or too cold, batteries throw a hissy fit and tap out quickly. That's why you should avoid leaving your smartphone, tablet, or laptop in direct sunlight or in a hot car. And definitely don't take your gadgets to a hot place like the beach or sauna. If it's possible, avoid wireless charging, as the heat it generates can bake your battery. And if you need to store your gadget or its battery, place them in a cool, dry place. Store batteries with a bit of charge. While we're on the topic of storing batteries in a cool, dry place, also make sure you give them at least half a charge first. The problem with storing batteries is that they lose their charge over time, and when this charge drops to zero, your battery will automatically kill itself so it doesn't become unstable. Hardcore, I know.
I hope this program has been a very interesting ride today. For inquiry and sponsorship, call the number on your screen. Join us for another interesting edition next time. Bye-bye.